You know, I'm a little bit annoyed. The reason I'm a little bit annoyed is because I was about to buy several $1,000s worth of Bitcoin down when Bitcoin was trading around $9,200, but Bitcoin decided to go ahead and rally almost up to $10,000 overnight, so since it takes a little bit for wire transfers to go through, I'm just SOL, but that's okay. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing the rally on Bitcoin that we've been watching over the last couple of days. As you guys will probably remember, Bitcoin tried to break through $10,000 and a major long-term downtrend of resistance a couple of days ago, about a week ago in fact. Unfortunately, or in my opinion, fortunately, we did not break through there. We corrected, we reset our RSI, MACD's looking great. Technical indicators looking fantastic. We allowed the TD sequential to have its day. And guys, things are looking very bullish right now. We are testing a very, very important downtrend of resistance that we are going to be discussing in today's video. If you guys do enjoy today's video, by the way, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And before we dive on into it, I do just first want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy because by popular demand, yes, we had people asking to start another sale. We have started the May 2020 coupon code, as you can see right over to my left, or on the right of me on the screen. Every time I do this number, I'm pointing over there, I'm just pointing at the wall. There's a coupon code on that sound panel over there. Come to my house, you'll see it. It's over there. It's there. If you guys are interested in learning about technical analysis while getting a massive discount to boot, use the coupon code in the description down below at checkout on CG2A and start learning everything you need to know about technical analysis. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. For all of you who are new here and are not very versed on my catalog of cool coffee mugs, you will probably not be familiar with this one, but this one has a fox on it. It says, hey there, hot stuff. So, you know, hey there, hot stuff. I hope you're doing well. Guys, over the last roughly 2.5 years, last 880 days, pretty much the entire time that this YouTube channel has been in existence, ever since the $20,000 all-time high figure, Bitcoin has been under a long-term descending triangle pattern, under a long-term downtrend. You could argue about whether the level of support is, whether it's there, or somewhere in here, but there is one thing that you cannot debate, and that is that on the log chart, there is a downtrend of resistance, and it is right there. This downtrend of resistance had not been very useful back over here. As you can see, there's a massive void, but in the most recent bear market that Bitcoin has been in, Bitcoin has tested this once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as of a week ago, and right now it's 6th time it is being tested at the time of recording this video. Like I said, this is not $10,000 we're talking about. $10,000 happens to coincide with this level of resistance, and it's one of the reasons that we were able to call and predict this falling over and this correction right here. But this right here, my friends, this is not actually $10,000. That's the big deal. It's the long-term downtrend. $10,000 is important too. That's called the convergence of support and resistance, by the way. Something we do talk about in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy right over there. Right there. Yeah. That time I was pointing at my other wall. There's not a sound panel on that wall. There's literally nothing over there. But apparently the convergence of support and resistance video is over there. I don't know. I don't know how it got there. Nevertheless, what we're looking at right now is a classic example of the convergence of support and resistance. In this case, the convergence of resistance, of course, because we're not above it just yet. Hopefully we will be. But for now, we can see that $10,000 and our downtrend are aligning right there to make us kind of this zone of resistance right in here. Both of those are very formidable levels of resistance, and Bitcoin is testing them. So who is going to win, the bulls or the bears? Well, guys, I'll be honest with you. My favor is in camp of the bulls now. You guys know that I've been extremely bullish on Bitcoin for the last month, and before you quote me in the comments section saying, oh, we're going to have a correction, I've been saying for over 30 days now, I've been looking for a short-term correction, which we got exactly the way we said it was going to happen. It happened. We are still bullish now because of that. Bitcoin reset its RSI, reset the TD sequential. We rejected healthily off of those levels of resistance because we had not really a big hope of getting through them in the first place. We reset our MACD, and everything is looking much, much healthier now than it had otherwise. Not to mention that Bitcoin came down and tested the 200 daily simple moving average as support, perfectly bouncing off of it when we had continuously fallen below it in these previous 2 times that we'd gotten above it right there and right there. And you start to realize there might be something different going on with this rally than these previous 2 attempts right here and right here. This is starting to look like something serious. It's starting to look like a bull market. And I think that's what we're getting into, guys. The reason that I'm not too concerned about $10,000 or this downtrend of resistance, the reason that I think we're going to break it, if not immediately in the next week or two, is because Bitcoin seems to have started a bull market. We've seen the 2050 cross that we need as a precursor to the golden cross. We've seen the 2200 cross that we need as a precursor to the golden cross. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at a golden cross coming in, as we said about a week ago in a video, around May the 20th. We talked about, I think, May the 18th being sometime around the day that it was going to happen. Right now, but sometime between May the 18th and May the 25th, looks like there's going to be a golden cross on Bitcoin. We've had a fake out or two on golden crosses recently, but in general, golden crosses are phenomenal. Fantastic indicators of the start and the end of bull markets and bear markets. The fact that we're about to see a golden cross is flat out awesome. Combine that with everything else I'm about to show you, and Bitcoin is looking peachy. As we said, Bitcoin needed to have a correction from $10,000 up here because we had gotten overextended on the RSI. We rallied up to 81. That was one of the ways we were able to predict that movement. We pulled all the way back down to 52, and now over the last 3 days, Bitcoin's rallied back up to 64. That's getting close to overbought territory, but it's not there yet, so we are still bullish. We can wipe our hands of having to worry about that for right now, but if we look down here at the MACD, we can also see we're about to see a cross on the MACD. Very good sign. As I talked about in yesterday's video, Bitcoin was starting to have a rounded bottom there. Actually, that was the day before yesterday's video. Bitcoin was starting to have a rounded bottom here, and it looked like we were about to start seeing a golden cross. We talked about that 3 days ago, about how we were expecting a bullish cross on the MACD, and that is now what we are seeing. Let me tell you guys something. The importance of a MACD cross is not just the fact that, oh, it crossed bullish. The importance of a MACD cross has to do with other things. It has to do with what is the state of the market when the cross happens, where is the market when the cross happens, where is the MACD in relation to its own histogram when that cross happens. So let's break down those three. This MACD is significantly above the zero level on the histogram. In fact, farther above the zero level on the histogram than the MACD has been at for the last year. And on top of that, we are having a bullish golden cross up here. Combine that fact with the fact that Bitcoin just bounced off of the 200 daily moving average. It is sitting right below some crucial levels of resistance that are going to be somewhat challenging to get through, but it seems like we're going to get through anyway. And then you tie all of that into the market sentiment, the fundamentals, and the overall ecosystem that cryptocurrency is in right now, and you start to see we're looking very bullish. Things are really starting to line up in our favor. But that leads me to an important question. Why? You know, I found in my life that one of the best things that you can do when things are going right or when things are going wrong is to ask yourself the question, why? Why is this going right? Why is this going wrong? What happened that was good? What happened that was bad? You need to analyze these questions because the future is in the past. The present right now is called the present because it's a gift to you from God. If you want to know what your future present is going to be, if you want to know where you are going, you need to understand the past. And to do that, you have to ask one question. Why? So with all that said, why is Bitcoin starting a rally now? Why was September not good enough? Why was January not good enough? Hell, why was March of last year not good enough? Why were none of these other attempts good enough to cause a rally that would send Bitcoin back to $20,000? And is this one good enough this time? I'm going to eliminate this one because Bitcoin got massively overextended very quickly, which is something you need to be careful of. We've talked about that in many videos. You don't want to get massively overextended and blow your top off because when you rally 40% like you did in that day, yeah, you might make 150 grand, but you're also going to see a new downtrend form. This case right here, we were already going into a healthy correction right here, right around the 200 daily moving average, and then the news broke out, and the healthy correction that we were in exacerbated into a massive crash. So that knocks out both of these. So that really only leaves us with this. Why did this rally right here not bring us back to $20,000? There are many reasons for that, and obviously all of them are not even known to us mere humans. The gods of the charts are the ones that know that, but at the end of the day, one of the big reasons is because we hadn't gone through the halving just yet, and it seems to be in the history of Bitcoin that halvings tend to start and exacerbate rallies and continue to kick them off to the upside. We hadn't had it yet. We were not very far from the previous all-time high. If you go back on the chart and you look at the distance between all-time high to the beginning of the next bull market, we just hadn't had enough time elapsed yet. All the weak hands weren't shaken out, I guess. On top of that, the stock market was doing very well, and it was overshadowing Bitcoin. But now, Bitcoin is getting a massive amount of attention because it's decoupling from the stock market. I've had people asking me, Jeb, over the last month, they've said, where's your evidence that Bitcoin is decoupling from the stock market? Because you keep saying that. I've said it a few times, and I've had people in the comment section say, yeah, but where's your evidence for that? Here's my evidence for it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average at maximum pulled back 38%, and from its all-time high to its local high is still down 17%. Instead of continuing a rally, what is the DJI doing? It's setting a head and shoulders pattern in motion. The S&P 500, the exact same thing. From all-time high all the way down to its bottom, we're down 35%. From all-time high to its local high, we're down 13.5%. Instead of continuing a rally, what is the SPY doing? It's setting a slanted head and shoulders pattern in motion. From bottom to local high on the SPY, we rallied 34%. From bottom to local high on the Dow Jones, we rallied 36%. Now compared to what's happened with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin pulled back from all-time high to absolute bottom 62%, a 50% larger correction than the Dow Jones and the SPY. That right there, that's how I got 50% more. I realize it's not additive, it's multiplicative. Shut up. Bitcoin crashed much farther, and what did Bitcoin do? Well, from absolute high, in fact, a different local high, to our current high, we are down 5%. Instead of however much it was on the Dow Jones. It's significantly more than that. Whereas the Dow Jones and the SPY rallied around 35%, Bitcoin is up 150%. While the Dow Jones and the SPY, two of the major indexes in the entire American and therefore global economy, they are setting head and shoulders patterns and look to be sending farther to the downside. Bitcoin is looking more bullish than ever. And by the way, don't forget for a second that trillions of dollars of stimulus have been pumped into the stock market. Bitcoin has received no bailout. It has received no government subsidy. It has received no grant. It has received no aid. It has received nothing. Now, I'm not a cheerleader for Bitcoin that's going to ignore the facts, and one of those facts is that Bitcoin is not tied to all of the industries that are suffering right now. Bitcoin is in its own little bubble, and it doesn't have a lot of attachments to all of the other industries that will pull it to the downside. It's much more free-floating than the SPY and the Dow Jones. That is a fair argument, and it is absolutely true. That being said, it is a fact that Bitcoin is decoupled from the stock market. The stock market is starting to plateau while Bitcoin is starting to go parabolic. There's a reason why we bet on Bitcoin, especially me, over 2.5 years ago when I joined the space, is because it can prove itself, and it's doing it right now. This rally that we're in right now, guys, is going to go down in the history books, and it's going to break $10,000, in my opinion. That is my call. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be above $10,000. That's a conservative call, honestly. I think it'll probably happen in the next 3 or 4 days. And from there, we're probably going to rally to between 10.5 to 11.5, have some short-term correction to reset the RSI, and hopefully continue from there. That's a little bit specific, but now that we've had about 60 days from the beginning of this kind of new season in Bitcoin, I'm really starting to understand all of the market forces. Bitcoin is looking very bullish, and I'm really excited to see where this thing goes. Especially with the rest of the world having new case numbers go down, and especially with the rest of the world starting to attempt a reopening. Florida is in phase 1. Hopefully phase 2 will start soon. This may be the beginning of something big for Bitcoin, and this all ties back to something I said at the beginning of this video. I'm moving money over to Kraken to buy a large amount of money through wire transfer. Sometimes I buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, but considering the amount I'm about to buy, Kraken's easier because I can do a wire transfer, and it's just boom like that. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have a Kraken affiliate link, but I do have a Coinbase affiliate link down below, by the way. You get $10 if you sign up for that. The reason that I'm not upset that I'm not going to be able to get Bitcoin at $9,100 like I wanted to, if I had managed to get the transaction to go through on Tuesday, then it would have been here on Wednesday, which was yesterday, and then I would have gotten it at 9.3 instead of 9.7, and then whatever. The reason I'm not upset about getting Bitcoin $600 higher than where I really should have is because I believe in the project. It's because that Bitcoin is not going to be sold for at least 3 years. That there's a specific plan for the Bitcoin I'm buying. This is not actually for me. There's a specific plan for when this Bitcoin is going to be handed off and thereby probably sold. And it's going to be at least 3 years before that Bitcoin is sold back into United States dollars. It is definitely a long-term investment. And quite frankly, guys, when I think about where 3 years is, the easiest way for me to internalize and comprehend 3 years is to think, where was I 3 years ago? 3 years ago, let me tell you where I was. I don't remember. Actually, I take that back. I do remember. I was in high school. I was probably sitting in art class. Yeah, didn't even know what Bitcoin was. I would not find out what Bitcoin was 3 years ago today. I would not find out what Bitcoin was for another 2.5 months. It's almost been 3 years. So you think about where we're going to be in 3 years. You think about where we've been in the last 3 years. Let me tell you where Bitcoin was 3 years to the day ago. 3 years is 1,095 days. If we look back 1,095 days, where was Bitcoin? Oh, $1,300. What has the absolute low been for Bitcoin in the last year? Yeah, it's been $3,900. A 200% return. So allow me to ask the question again that I asked so many times here on the channel. Are you here for today, or for tomorrow, or for this week, or for next year, or for the future? Because, guys, the future, it's in the past. And the past tells you that the future is going to be bright. If you pay attention to history, you won't be doomed to repeat it. If you want to repeat it, you can, however. You guys know how the old saying goes. Those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. At the same time, on the other side of the coin, those who study history are capable of repeating it. That Bitcoin isn't going to be sold for 3, 5 to 7 years from now, and by that time, I expect Bitcoin to be trading at much higher levels than $3,900, $9,300, anything. I want to make sure you guys understand delayed gratification because it's the only thing that's going to allow you to succeed in these markets. Speaking of succeeding in these markets, though, guys, if you do want to profit in cryptocurrency markets through your trading and through your investing, you are going to need to understand how to read charts the way we have been doing in this video. And that, my friends, is precisely why we started the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy nearly 2 years ago when it launched in September of 2018. Ever since then, we've had 1,500 students go through the academy, and they are loving every minute of it. There are 35 videos in here and over 10 hours of high-quality content that will teach you everything you need to know from the very basics of technical analysis through the far more advanced concepts that you're going to need to know if you want to trade and profit in cryptocurrency markets. Guys, look, at the end of the day, if you're going to work in cryptocurrency markets, if you're watching this video, it means that you care about crypto. It means that you think there's an opportunity to make money here. Hopefully, you care a little bit about the technology and the vision because that's what's going to help you with that delayed gratification because you can see the future. You have a vision for it. There's a reason they call successful people and billionaires visionaries. They have a vision of where they're going. If you have a vision of where you're going, you need to have some kind of backing to be able to push yourself in that direction. And let me tell you guys, it takes a long time to learn technical analysis on your own. It takes a really long time. Don't get me wrong. I didn't have a course. I learned all this on my own. But I will also tell you the other side of that coin, and that is that it took me thousands of hours. There are 8,640 hours in a year. It took me thousands of hours. Think about that. A tenth or 2/10 of a year every year. Don't forget, I was in school. I have to sleep. I have to eat. Got to play video games. I don't anymore, but at the time I had to. It was like a need in The Sims. You had to keep that bar filled. All of that time that went into learning technical analysis, all of it, thousands of hours, Google, Investopedia, YouTube videos, hundreds of hours on YouTube, all of that. I could have traded $209 for it. To everybody who says courses are a scam, you're wrong. There's a reason why the course industry has massively exploded over the last 10 years. It's because the trade between money and the trade between information and time is so valuable. Do yourself a favor if you're trying to learn technical analysis. Trade those hundreds and thousands of hours of trying to learn technical analysis on your own for learning it by next week by going through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Look, guys, I care about you. I want the best for you. If you don't believe me saying that, then you probably haven't been here for a while because I've shown that in every video I've ever made. If you find a better product for a better price, go take it. But I don't think you're going to. If you do, tell me and I'll beat it. You can email us at cryptojeb@gmail.com and I'll do the whole Walmart price matching stuff. I want you guys to learn technical analysis, and I want you guys to profit in these markets. And the best way that I know how to help you guys do that is to go through CT2A, because that trade right there has allowed for this entire channel to be possible. It has allowed for us to help thousands of our students, and it's allowed for many of them to go on to be very profitable in cryptocurrency markets. Guys, if you want to learn technical analysis, there's a great place to do it. It's linked in the description down below. You can get started today. I'm not one of those sleazy guys selling information products saying, oh, well, if you buy my course, you're going to be driving a Lamborghini this time next month because you're going to make so much money doing social media marketing. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. It is going to cut down on your time if you use that coupon code and that link in the description down below, though. I'm not here to tell you it's a get-rich-quick overnight scheme. I'm not here to tell you that this is going to be necessarily incredibly easy. Anything worth doing is never all that easy, is it? It is my job as an educator here on YouTube to cut down on the time it takes you to learn everything you need to know, and that is why we've had thousands of people go through the academy, because they see the value in that. If you're interested, the link's down below. Anyway, guys, that is more or less going to wrap it out for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button down below. Big things are coming, and I'm really excited about it. We just passed 37,000 subscribers. And I'm kind of blown away by that, because it was like a month and a half ago we were at 32K subs, and I don't know how that happened. I don't know where all y'all came from, but hi, welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you, and I just want to take a second here before we wrap the video out and just humbly come before you and say how thankful I am that you guys have decided to subscribe to this channel and watch these videos and support the work that we're doing here. You know, it's taken a long time to build this channel. It's not something that's happened overnight. This channel has been active for 2.5 years. There's 800 videos on here. I have probably spent 400 hours sitting behind a desk just like this, talking into a camera and a microphone just like this, making these videos. Just recording the videos, not editing them, not uploading them, not doing thumbnails, not doing research, not doing planning, not doing content creation for everything else. 400 hours alone of just sitting here recording the videos. Multiply that by 5 times. There's thousands of hours that have gone into working on this channel. And it's just incredible, because it wouldn't have happened, it wouldn't have worked, it wouldn't have been worth it if it weren't for you guys subscribing to the channel. So I do just first, before we go, thank you guys for that. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. But before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.